and welcome to the Homemade Podcast Sports. This is your host, J Pops. And welcome back to the Homemade Podcast of Sports with your host, J Pops. Guys, today's date is March 9th, 2021. It is a very, very cloudy Tuesday out here in Houston, Texas, people. I'm coming to you from my own home, my own backyard, from a backyard in my own home. I cannot ask for much better weather than what we're getting now because of, hey, we don't want that freeze again. But anywho, guys, on today's latest edition of the Homemade Podcast of Sports, I'll be bringing you my thoughts on number 4 Florida versus number 21 Texas A&M. Do you guys remember that game for the 2020 season? Do you guys remember that game? So we're going to talk about the simple fact of, did Florida ultimately define the Texas A&M 2020 season? Did the Florida game define it? Did the Florida game ultimately define Texas A&M's identity going forward for the 2020 season? We're going to talk about it, man. We got a jam-packed episode, and we don't have that much time to do it. All right, this is not going to be a long edition, by all means, man, but we have a very, very small time to do it. This is a jam-packed episode. Come on in, people. Welcome to the Homemade Podcast Sports. This is about Texas A&M. First, though, before we get off into it, I'm pretty sure you guys have heard the news. Kansas, University of Kansas, people, football coach Les Miles, well, now former football coach Les Miles, has been relieved of his duties. They have agreed to mutually part ways due to the allegations that are put on him from, I don't really remember what season it was, but anywho, it was allegations put on him because of the simple fact that he was talking to a female student, supposedly. So, hey, just letting you guys know, giving you an update on that. But yes, the University of Kansas has let go of head football coach Les Miles. UK fans, if there are any, I don't know. You guys are going to be last in the Big 12 again. It's not like you guys haven't been there before. So, I mean, hey, but you guys are going to be last again. Anywho, guys, let's move along. So, like I was discussing, did that Florida game define the Texas A&M football 2020 season? I sat there and I watched that whole game, man, and what I'm going to be doing is coming out with my analysis, going back, just looking at the whole 2020 season, doing my analysis and things like that. And I'll be bringing you game by game perspective, leading all the way up to the spring game. The spring game, once again, is April 17th. I believe the time that Texas A&M will go out there is at about 3, either 2 or 3, or between hours of 2 through 6. I know it's one of those. Kyle Field will be rocking. I'm not sure if they're going to let everybody in, to the full amount that can be allowed at the spring game, but just be ready for that. I'm so pumped to see this spring game. I'm so pumped. The guy that I was looking at in that game the most, that ultimately made an identity for itself, was Caleb Chapman, wide receiver Caleb Chapman. I did not know personally that guy was 6'5". I'm going to say that once again. That guy is 6'5". I believe I forgot that because at one point in time, I know I did come out with a list of all the wide receivers before the season had started, and I talked about all their sizes and everything. Jimbo Fisher, by far, has got to be one of the best head coaches to ultimately pick out wide receivers that are at least 6'2" and up. I'm going to say that once again. He's got to be one of the best guys to pick wide receivers that's about 6'2" and up. Preferably starting at about 6 foot, because you're not going to catch too many 5'10", 5'11" wide receivers, things like that. Those are naturally like all running backs nowadays. But he's one of the best at going out, scouting it, looking at the size range, stuff like that, man. But that guy is 6'5". I was looking at him against Florida, and that catch that he made right on him, and shout out to Killer Munn, by the way, that game there, Killer Munn was on point. He was dead accurate. I have no clue what Killer Munn that was, but he was dead accurate, okay? But for that guy to go up against Caleb Chapman, man, and I was looking at his height and looking at the other guy's height, all Killer Munn had to do was just throw the ball up. And Caleb Chapman just went up and got it. He kind of reminded you of Mike Evans. Mike Evans was that big body wide receiver. So they're not the same body-wise. But so far as going up and catching the ball, whoo, Caleb Chapman, man, golly. I want you guys to keep an eye on Caleb Chapman. He's going to have to go through his recovery process. He's going to have to go through it the right way. He's going to have to take his time to get through it. I don't want him to rush it. I'm pretty sure that the coaches and his mom and dad, things of that nature, they're not going to let him rush it neither. He has to get that ACL back together to all the way 100%. Also, he has to get his body back into football shape, so I'm pretty sure he's going to be at, the conditioning programs come summertime. Are we going to see him in the spring game? No, we're not. So I don't want anybody to even much look for that. If he's playing in that spring game, then it's something that I don't know about ACLs. All right, but he should not be playing in the spring game. The guy that I do know that they're going to let play in this spring game, in which I do not want him to be in there, is Bayla Cook. All right, you guys have to be looking for Bayla Cook in the spring game. But anywho, man, let's get back to the subject at hand. What Caleb Chapman did in that game was found his identity. What Texas A&M did in that game was find their identity in the running game, but they also found an identity in the passing game. They found both. They found a rhythm of both. Now, is that all credit to Florida's defense? Because Florida defense was hella trash. Yes, it could be, but at the same time, your offense had to step up and make plays when that defense is that trash. That defense was horrible. They were horrible. Also, the next guy who found himself was Isaiah Spiller. Isaiah Spiller found himself, man. All right, he was a wrecking ball out there, and he just ultimately destroyed that Florida's run defense. I don't even much know if Florida even much knew what the run defense was in that game. All right, but Isaiah Spiller found himself. I just talked about the pass and the run. Texas A&M found a balanced identity. Do you not know that is what Jimbo Fisher runs? He runs the pro-style balanced offense. How in the hell you think Florida State kept on being in the top 10 in offense all those years he was there, man? He is a balanced guy. He loves a balance. How do you think all those running backs kept on coming from Florida State? And as you can see right now, those running backs are in the league from Florida State. They're all real good. They're all really, really good, man, because Jimbo Fisher did not use them a lot. He did not wear them down into the ground. You guys got to understand the whole purpose of a balanced offense. You can't just, Alabama done, so I can't, LSU done it too, with the pass, and Oklahoma. But you see how far Oklahoma goes with it. But anywho, you can't just be one-dimensional, man. If you're one-dimensional, then they're going to make you be one-dimensional the whole game, and you're going to try to find something, and you can't. All right? But Texas A&M did find their identity, man. And one thing here, just to let you guys know, on that last episode, I said that Cam Brown was the one that transferred to Minnesota. It was actually one of my biggest fans that commented on that last video and said, no, man. You're thinking about Dylan Wright. I'm sorry. Cam Brown, if you're listening, man. Cam Brown family members, if you guys are listening, I'm so sorry. That's my apologies. But no, guys, it was Dylan Wright that transferred. Cam Brown is still here. So I want you guys to pay attention to Cam Brown too. Cam Brown will be a fool. Jalen Preston will be a fool. Okay? Just hold on. Hold on. Haynes King will be a fool also. I cannot wait until this spring game. All right? Am I already crowned? And once again, am I already crowned a Haynes King start? Yes, I am. All right? But anywho, guys, let's talk about the subject at hand once again. Let's not get off topic here. But that Florida game, they found the rhythm. Kellen Mond found his rhythm. He felt that he could throw the ball, and that's what he essentially did. He just threw it. He threw it to the same wide receiver over and over. He threw it to Caleb Chapman over and over and over. That is what you have to do. Going forward, Caleb Chapman will be the threat come 2021. I firmly stick by that. I don't believe that. No, I firmly stick by that. Okay? I've already believed it. So there's nothing I need to say anymore. I stick by it. I firmly stick by it. He's going to come back off of rehabbing his ACL. That guy will be even better. In my honest opinion, he will be even better. The next guy that people have to watch out for is, like I say, is Damon Demons. He got a little bit of experience on the field, but now he's a sophomore. He got to sit back and learn that whole playbook. You don't think he's ready? I'm going to say that once again. You guys don't think he's ready? The next guy on here is Bayla Cook. He sat back, was injured for 2 years. You guys don't think he's ready? He's been wanting to show people what he was all about, man. You guys don't think he's ready? He is ready. He's ready. We have found an identity going forward for the 2021 season. We will be a balanced offense. We will be a balanced offense like no other. And people will start to come back and say, oh, okay, well, that's the Jimbo Fisher I remember right there. Yeah, that is. I mean, I can honestly agree with you on that. Is Jimbo Fisher still a quarterback whisperer? Yes, he is. You guys got to go back and rewind and watch that game again, man. He is a quarterback whisperer. All right, it's just Kellen Mond couldn't be that same Kellen Mond every game, especially when he lost a go-to wide receiver. That was a go-to wide receiver for him. That was a wide receiver he trusted in. Like I just told you, he's 6'5", man. I'll trust in him too. I don't have to be the accurate passer in the world to throw a ball to a guy that's 6'5". Okay? I do not have to be dead accurate. I'm gonna just throw it and he's gonna catch it. Okay? Hell, I can get my wife to get out there and throw the ball to the guy that's 6'5". You know? So, yeah, man. But those guys did find identity. That did reshape our 2020 season because following that game, we went on an undeniable run. And as of right now, going into the 2021 season, we are still undefeated. We're still undefeated, man. We are on a, what did we go, 9-1? We are on a 8-0 run. That is hard as hell to do in college football, man. That is hard. I don't care what nobody tells you. The elites can come to this table right now and yeah, that's hard, brother. That is hard. Okay? So, like I say, man, we're on an undeniable run. That game did ultimately define the 2020 season. After that game there, you just saw everybody start getting better. Our defense still got torched in that game now. I want you guys to remember that. Our defense still got torched in the passing game. In that game. We didn't give up any running yards like that. Our run defense ultimately got better. They got better and better and better and better. That defense overall got better after that game, because that boosted a confidence in those players going forward for the 2020 season to let them know that, man, we can get out here and play with these guys. Now, did Florida look like a number 14 going down the stretch? No, they did not. But offensively, they did. You know, but Florida was never a complete team. I could never take Florida serious, but Florida was never a complete team. I knew that going into that game that Florida was not a complete team. You know, but that isn't A&M's fault. That is not. You have to exploit their weakness. Just like we weren't a complete team in the game before Leading up to that game, we were not complete. They exploited our weakness. We came back the next game, and we done the same thing. We exploited their weakness. Going forward, though, A&M got better. They got very, very much better. Like I say, man, spring game is coming up. We're going to have to see what we got 2021. Now, a lot of people don't believe in our offensive line that we're going to have. A lot of people has us all the way down the list, as opposing to how many games we're going to win. Are we going to win the SEC West? Are we going to be a challenge? Are we going to be a threat to anybody? Things of that nature. A lot of people don't believe in us because Kellen Mond is gone and the offensive line. Well, I'm here to tell you this, people. All of those wide receivers that you seen last year that people have question marks on, they're all coming back. Only one offensive lineman is coming back, and that's Keon Green. The rest of the offensive line is brand new. But I can tell you this, we have more four-star, highly rated four-star recruits on that offensive line than we've ever had, period. I'm going to say that once again. We got more four-star recruits on that offensive line than what we've ever had, period. I highly believe that offensive line will be top 5 in the country again. And that's a bold statement. I believe that offensive line will be top 5 in the country again. Only because of this here. Haynes King is a playmaker, so he's not going to let his offensive line go down like that. He will get out the pocket if he has to, and he will make plays on his own. All right? Say that once again. He will get out the pocket if he has to and make plays on his own. I believe in Haynes King, and I believe what he will do. Once again, that spring game, we all need to pay close attention to the offensive line, pay close attention to Haynes King. The running backs, we have a solid running back core coming back. I believe we will be either number 1 or number 2 in the SEC overall in running back core. Wide receivers, of course, nobody believes in our wide receiver. And they got it, like I said, they got it all the way down the list. And the SEC is probably like number 7. We're at number 7 with the best wide receiver course. With the wide receiver core. We coming out to make a statement. Another guy who's going to make a statement as well is Jaden Watermeyer. He's going to make a statement. Also, he found his identity going forward for the 2020 season. He was a threat. He's a big red zone threat. Imagine having him and Bayla Cook as 2 red zone threats, and Haynes King in the backfield as a playmaker as a red zone threat, and then you got 2 running backs in the backfield as well with A-Chain and Spill as a red zone threat. And let's not forget Anaya Smith. He's a threat, period. This is going to be one of the best teams that A&M has ever had, man. You know, but man, I'm excited. I'm excited, man, and we're going to see it. We're going to, finally see it on the field and witness it. Like I said, I got a bold statement saying that Alabama will be taken down this year at Kyle Field. I can feel it and I can see it. That's just me though, man. They will slay Goliath this year. They will slay him. It'll be a close game, but they'll slay him at the end of the day. Also, when we slay that dragon, we got to slay LSU at their own home field. I believe that we can do it this year. That's just me once again. But, guys, coming to you, man. Like I say, man, please be ready for the spring game in April. It is April 17th. I've already marked my calendar. I've circled it. I'm not doing crap that day, but just watching all Aggie football and as well as other spring games, okay? I love football, period. I love to watch spring games, stuff like that. That's how I get a sense of knowing. A lot of people say spring games doesn't matter. Well, I'm going to take you back to this here. That run when Mississippi State had that run with Nick Fitzgerald, and they were ranked up there, and they happened to beat LSU like I think 30-3 or something like that. I watched that spring game for that year. I knew what that defense had. That defense was stellar. That was the shutdown defense. One of the best defenses that Dan Mullen has ever had, excluding that season where they were like number 1. But I watched that spring game, man. I knew what that defense had to offer, and when it showed up game time, real season-wise, the defense showed up. I knew what they were about. But I just want you guys to People can say it's all vanilla all they want to, man, but I want you guys to lock in on. I want you guys to look at it, pay attention, see who's who. Bayla Cook will play in that spring game. Like I said, I don't want him to, but Bayla Cook will play in that spring game. He has to get out there and he has to define himself. We don't know who the hell he is. We don't. We don't know who he is. We don't know what he's capable of. All right? So, once again, guys, it's Homemade Podcast Sports with your host, J Pops. Guys, I love all of you. Hashtag Gigamags. And thank you guys for tuning in to the hashtag Homemade Podcast Sports. Please, guys, subscribe to the YouTube page and also follow me on Twitter at JPops, on Instagram at JPops, and also on Facebook at hashtag Homemade Podcast Sports. Thank you guys once again. Hashtag Gigamags.